From being a pervert to completely ruining the hip-hop industry, Saigon is now hitting back harder against Diddy, not mincing words when it comes to the disgraced mogul.
He's saying that Diddy, he's glad Diddy is getting up out of here. He's saying Diddy and his All About the Benjamins single ruined hip-hop culture.
In recent years, Diddy hasn't been having a good run. At the beginning of the year, Sean Combs faced what is now his fifth lawsuit for sexual harassment. The rapper and entrepreneur has been sued in the Southern District of New York, and for the first time, by a man, producer Rodney Jones Jr., also known as Lil Rod. Jones accused him of touching him without consent, making him take drugs, and pressuring him to hire prostitutes, all happening within the last 2 years. This lawsuit adds to those filed by an anonymous woman who accused Combs in December of raping her along with 2 others in 2003, when she was only 17 years old, and he was 34. There are also harsh accusations from his former artist and girlfriend Cassandra Ventura, from a student named Joy Dickerson Neal, who accuses him of rape in 1991, and from Liza Gardner, who claims he raped her and a friend in the early 90s. Of course, as expected, the rapper's lawyers deny the accusations. Jones, who has produced much of Combs' latest album, released last September, claims that between September 2022 and November 2023, he spent a lot of time with the artist, working, traveling, and even living with him for months in his home in New York, Florida, and Los Angeles, recording many hours of audio and video of the rapper. In his lawsuit, he explains that while they were working on the music project, Combs touched him inappropriately and encouraged him to engage in sexual activities with another man, stating that it was a normal practice in the music industry. These details are mentioned in the 73-page lawsuit, which includes photographs and very explicit details. Jones also claims that Combs controlled him by offering large sums of money, praising him, and promising access to top-level record executives. Combs always made it clear that he has immense power in the music industry and with law enforcement, reads the lawsuit. While trials against Diddy haven't started yet, some are already taking advantage to criticize him. As the saying goes, kick a man while he's down. In fact, none other than Saigon has expressed pleasure at Diddy's current situation, attributing him as the cause of the creative decline in hip-hop in recent years. On Twitter, the rapper and actor expressed a series of harsh criticisms against Diddy. Here are his exact words directed at the founder of Bad Boy Records. "This Negro puffy flipped hip-hop culture into all about worshiping nothing but dollar. That's why I'm kinda glad they got his ass up out of here. Go look at the content in hip-hop music before that All About the Benjamins song. Creativity mattered." For those who don't get the reference from All About the Benjamins, Saigon uses it to show how hip-hop music has declined, as it was a hugely successful single. Basically, the song is all about chasing money. Benjamins are $100 bills featuring Benjamin Franklin. Saigon's bold statements hit hard, accusing Diddy of messing up hip-hop's values by making it all about getting rich. And why all the wealth, you might ask? Well, to build his kingdom of perversion, that's why. Money runs everything in the industry. The more money moves around, the more control it gives someone. But Saigon might have a point, doesn't he? Few can deny the huge impact Diddy has had in shaping the hip-hop industry as we know it today. In the late 90s, his creation, Bad Boy Records, became a true powerhouse of rap and R&B, raking in millions during a golden era for urban black music. Combs not only became a billionaire himself, but also turned many of his artists into stars and millionaires. However, that overwhelming success came with a price. Diddy's obsession with wealth and his efforts to make rap and R&B mainstream by softening their rough edges undoubtedly helped to globalize these urban genres. But it also initiated a trend that, according to many critics, ended up distorting the very roots and essence of the street music. The commercial formula of gangsta glamour, spearheaded by Bad Boy, with its flashy and expensive videos, may have laid the groundwork for today's mainstream. But in the eyes of purists like Saigon, it also marked the beginning of wealth and glamour overshadowing the rebellious roots and social messages of old-school hip-hop. It's not that Diddy is solely to blame, but he was one of the first to sweeten the music we love so much that the entire record industry followed suit. You might argue, but Diddy and Bad Boy Records brought us Notorious B.I.G. And you'd be right, but their obsession with money, success, and elitism ultimately, with the help of the rest of the industry, watered down the genre's authenticity. And that's a truth you can't deny either. That's why it's no surprise how Diddy's relentless obsession with money and wealth had corrupted the essential values of hip-hop. Now, the accusation suggests that this same unchecked greed may have reached unimaginable levels of sexual depravity and abuse of power at the peak of the musical empire that Diddy himself helped build. This isn't the first time Saigon has donned the mantle of a purist and attacked the way things are being done in the music industry. The New York rapper has been waving the flag of street hip-hop for years, challenging the more commercial trends that, in his view, have perverted the roots of this urban genre. Another instance of his efforts to preserve the authenticity of rap occurred when he passionately spoke out against what he sees as content in the music of some of his colleagues. Even big names like Rick Ross or 2 Chainz, who were major players in the global music scene, didn't escape Saigon's pointed criticism. The rapper didn't hesitate to threaten to throw punches. At those, he was accused of sending a dangerous message to younger audiences. The trigger for his fiery rant was the openly sexual and explicit lyrics of some songs, which he believed shouldn't be freely circulating among minors. Saigon was shocked to see teenagers as young as 13 or 14 reciting verses that openly discuss sexual practices, like in an almost messianic tone. The artist angrily questioned, "Who's responsible for this?" demanding that such content be kept away from young people, as if it were an adult-only section in a store. And this isn't the first time Saigon has targeted Diddy either. In fact, the New York rapper had been eyeing his former industry colleague for some time. When the first alarms about the businessman's alleged inappropriate behavior started ringing last year, Saigon wasted no time adding fuel to the fire with a cryptic and cutting messages on the social network X. Dom, who thinks Diddy did it? I told myself years ago if fame and money come with all this type of ish, they can keep it. I stepped away from all this shit to raise my babies, and I don't regret 1 second of it. With an almost "I saw it coming" tone, the artist hinted that he had sensed the potential danger of Diddy's excessive ambition for fame and wealth long before. In his post, Saigon seemed to revel in having avoided the excesses of that lifestyle in time, prioritizing the upbringing of his children over any desire for celebrity. It was almost as if the rapper had been patiently waiting for this moment. And, funny enough, it came. But do you know what's even more true? In light of the recent accusations surrounding Diddy, critical voices like Saigon's gain even more strength and prominence. The New York rapper has been positioning himself for years as a champion of the authentic values of street hip-hop, denouncing what he sees as a commercially and morally questionable drift in the music industry. His prophetic warnings about Diddy's alleged excesses and abuses of power seem tragically confirmed by the murky allegations now plaguing the former leader of Bad Boy Records. In this sense, Saigon emerges almost as an urban prophet, foreseeing moral decay if hip-hop continued on the path marked by figures like his former colleague, a path of greed and unleashed lust that, if the accusations are confirmed, would have ultimately consumed Diddy himself at the height of his musical reign. It seems that once the truth comes to light, there is no shadow to be cast upon it, or will money be another means of escape? That's all for today. If you want to stay updated on what's happening on the controversial side of rap, be sure to like the video and subscribe so you don't miss anything.